Hey everyone, it's kaseius here. I wanted to try my hand at a sort of like little mini review, and I figured I'd do it of Dynasty Warriors 7, but before we look at that, I wanted to go back and take a look at some of the older games in the series. So let's step back a bit. A little bit further. No, a little bit further. Yes. Let's go all the way back to Dynasty Warriors 2 on the PS2. The reason I wanted to step back to Dynasty Warriors 2 is because I've often seen a lot of reviews, or I should say I've seen a couple of reviews and people saying lately that Dynasty Warriors is just a very repetitive game and that they haven't improved it whatsoever since the original. So to start off with, I set us up with Xiahou Dun, one of my favorite characters from the series. Reason I don't know, I pick him because he's got an eye patch, and I guess in 2 he sounds kind of like Duke Nukem, which is pretty sweet. But if you got a guy with an eye patch, you just got to pick him. That's kind of a rule of being manly. So the game is a little bit dated. You could see from the menu here, the cutscenes, characters. It's very, very old. This was a launch title for the PS2. And it's definitely got the age to show it. Long loading times, dated graphics and menus, just about everything about this game screams it's kind of old. For a launch title for PS2, it probably really wasn't all that bad. As a matter of fact, I have a feeling they left a lot of people really impressed. IGN even said in their review of the game that it has one of the best presentations in any launch PS2 game. It's got beautiful intro FMV and fantastic in-game cutscenes. Along with that, it has awesome graphics for a first-generation PS2 game, tons of characters fighting on screen at the same time, great regalia design, and smooth character animation all add to a high grade. However, by today's standards, I wouldn't really quite call this amazing, awesome, or anything like that.
Get out of here.
So, let's jump forward 5 years. Dynasty Warriors 5 has come out in the year of 2005, and it still follows the same formula as Dynasty Warriors 2, 3, and 4. Is there anything wrong with that? No, not really. As a matter of fact, I'd say that's a pretty good thing, because there really aren't very many beat-em-up games nowadays. In Dynasty Warriors 5, you follow the same pattern as 2, and most likely 3 and 4. You select an officer from an army, and you have at their story mode. It's slightly better presented though.
I am Xiahou Dun. To bring order to the chaos, I shall follow Cao Cao in his...
Wait, did he just say Cao Cao?
I shall follow Cao Cao.
Alright, bad pronunciations aside, they definitely take it a bit further with the presentation in this one. You actually have a little bit of story introduction, and it really just looks a lot better. 5 years of polish is definitely visible here.
Lu Bu, welcome to your final resting place.
Masters Xiahou Dun and Yuan, head for the west. Master Liu Bei, lead your army to the south.
So jumping from 2 to 5, they added in voices during battles, which is a nice touch, and just overall it looks a lot better. Camera's more smooth, characters animate better, models are improved. Just about everything about this game has been touched up.
We can't even make a dent. We'd better back off.
Some of the problems I had with 5 after playing 7 is that it feels a little bit slow. During the first mission as Xiahou Dun, you run a lot. And I mean a lot. But I really like how it's got some of that old school PS2 charm. Cutscenes, voicing, all that stuff. It's really kind of endearing. I can't help but like it, even though it is pretty dated.
The river is flowing into the castle? Everybody, get to higher ground! We'll drown if we stay here!
And that brings us to Dynasty Warriors 7. The most recent addition to the series, and probably the best. My personal favorite for sure.
This looks bad. Our men are surrounded by yellow turbans.
It is the height of foolishness to set up camp on a narrow path when you have such numbers.
Yeah, but look on the bright side. Now we get to rescue.
Yes.
You finished talking?
Do this right.
Let's get on with it, UN.
Yeah! Oh, whoa! Whoa!
Words are not needed for him. Impressive.
Yes, this is awesome! And just like that, you're going. You are starting your adventure. So with Dynasty Warriors 7, the story mode is presented a little bit differently, whereas each faction has their own story rather than each individual character, and you follow the story of the kingdom or the company that you're fighting for, and you get to see a little bit of every character as you follow the story. It works really, really well.
We'd better give him a
Your
hand.
time is up.
Thank you. You've saved me.
Your time is
Impressive.
Magnificent. Be sure to call by my camp later, and you will be duly rewarded.
Oh yeah. We're gonna go by his camp later if you know what I mean. Hi-oh! In Dynasty Warriors 7, they cover up the loading and saving times with little cutscenes and voiceovers to tell you what's happening in the story. This way, you're not staring at a blank screen wondering when you're going to actually get into things. So you have something to keep you a little bit entertained and to fill you in if you do enjoy the story, which I personally find it awesome. And I'd say it definitely works a lot better than the original Dynasty Warriors 2 loading screen. So after you're done watching it, it'll show you who you're playing as, and it'll drop you right into a camp. No menus, no fussing around with anything. You just get to go and enjoy some scenery, you can talk to people, and just take in some sights.
Speak to the person with the red mark above their head to begin the battle. Here, that person is Lord Cao Cao.
I was personally really impressed with this. I really like the character animations in this. It's a nice change of pace and it makes you feel like you're really inside the world as the character you're playing as.
The Imperial Court is too corrupt to do anything about the chaos.
Sounds like my house. Oh.
Ah, Cousin Duin. I don't know how our Lord puts up with it. It's like the Imperial Army doesn't show us any respect.
Leave it be. Cao Cao isn't concerned with such trivial matters.
This chaos is the perfect opportunity to embark on our quest to conquer the land.
Let's do it.
I know that as well as anybody.
Come, let us go.
And there you have it. You have just went through a loading screen into the game. No silly menus, no overhead maps, nothing that really draws you out of it. As a matter of fact, all of it just brings you into the game more. One moment you're having peace and tranquility, buying weapons or doing whatever in the village, and next you are killing men by the hundreds. Or maybe tens, I guess depends on how awesome you are. In Dynasty Warriors 7, the gameplay follows similar patterns in the previous ones, using square and triangle to execute your attacks. However, you can also switch up your weapons in this one. Each character has a specific weapon that they can use a special ability with, but they can also use any other weapon in the game, which is nice and gives you a lot of diversity for your characters. So if you like have a favorite character, but you don't like their weapon, you can always change it with something else. One of my personal favorites is the drill spear. Whoever thought of that deserves a medal because that is amazing. In addition to the story mode, they've also included a conquest mode. In conquest mode, you can play as any officer that you've unlocked, where you go across the honeycombs of China, conquering villages, people, whatever. You basically slaughter everything in your way, and you get stuff for doing it.
You know, Liu Bei first met Guan Yu in a tavern. Perhaps I should go grab a drink.
You could take a break from the action by going to towns that you've liberated from the forces of whatever enemies you may be up against. They really don't have any sort of pattern to it. In the villages, you can get different companions to take with you, different animals, buy weapons, and just talk to people if you so enjoy that.
Slash is an interesting additional element. It has different effects depending on the enemy. Rank-and-file soldiers will be killed with a single blow. Not me, though. I'm too tough for that.
Thank goodness, Private. I don't know what I'd do without you. In the Battles and Conquest mode, you can select whatever background music you want to have, so if you have preference tracks, you can listen to them and enjoy them. I personally like Lu Bu's theme. It's pretty good.
We must fall back for... My only purpose is to fulfill the role assigned to me on the battlefield. I'm happy you called for me.
So hopefully by now you've been able to see just how awesome this game can be. It's got pretty decent voice acting, good music, enjoyable action, and slaughtering mins by the hundreds of thousands. Conquest mode is probably my favorite, where you can play as just about anyone with any weapon you want, doing whatever you want. If you've always wanted to be a little Chinese girl with a giant spear riding on a bear or an elephant, well, now you can finally live your dream. On top of split-screen mode, the game also has online co-op when you're playing in Conquest mode, which is nice. It's not handled completely properly as you can't enter towns with each other, and often there are important characters you might need to speak to, but overall it works, and it's not too difficult to set up. So, one of the major downsides I'd say about Dynasty Warriors 7 so far is the music isn't as good as Dynasty Warriors 5. I guess if you're a real, music snob or something, well then you can hate on the game. But otherwise, if you like beat-em-ups or brawlers, things like this, you really should like Dynasty Warriors 7. Feel free to give it a try, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.
Be gone from my sight. You will learn to regret this moment.